Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together here on Facebook, where we examine news from our city, state, and country, news from you, news from our friends, news and questions and ideas, all kinds of information that we can get our hands on. Ooh, and an itchy beard as well. Today is Tuesday, 28th of November. Oh my God, time flies when you're having fun. It's almost the end of the month. Peregrinaciones are right around the corner, our annual tradition for the Virgin of Guadalupe. We're going to talk about Peregrinaciones today in case it's news to you. I'm going to share some news about Marietas Islands, a couple of upcoming shows. I'm going to fess up about a bad habit that I have that has gotten me into trouble. And then I'm going to ask you questions about what happens when somebody makes a disparaging comment that ruffles your feathers. I could use some advice. But first, welcome to the broadcast. Particularly welcome to those that are watching live for the first time. If that is your case, feel free to let us know by writing the word new in your comment, and we'll be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. And of course, if you have something really important on your mind that you wish to share with the rest of us, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. That way we can look for it later on in the broadcast and address it. So, Luna, oh, she seems to be so ready. It's not even funny. She's just sleeping next to me. But Luna sends regards, trust me. Let us get started with our news. And today we start with good news about the Marietas Islands. 7 years ago, the Marietas Islands were showing so many signs of contamination that authorities chose to limit visitor access, particularly to the so-called Playa del Amor or Love Beach. The good news is that restrictions have paid off. And 7 years after the fact, tourism is much more sustainable, and this is good news for our environment. The unique configuration that requires you to swim to the beach through a natural tunnel, not a tunnel, but a tunnel, has made the beach a sought-after attraction for visitors and locals alike. Unfortunately, in the past, there were a lot of not responsible tour operators that used to bring in a lot of trash and leave it behind. This was affecting the coral reef and the wildlife that lives in and around the islands. But things seem to be doing much better there, and we are happy about that. Let's see. Moving right along, I had some great news this morning. I was chatting with Logan, and he says to me, well, sometime in the future, I want to organize a dinner to La Cigale once they moved to Versailles. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't know that La Cigale is moving to Versailles, but apparently either they are moving to Versailles or they have moved to Versailles. I went to check out their Facebook page and I saw that it now says Versailles French Bistro and includes their address at Roma 185. So if you have any information about this, that would be great. For those of you that don't know, La Cigale has been this very quiet but very successful French restaurant for many, many years. And I'm happy to see that they are closer to me. And I look forward to checking out their new location sometime in the near future. I also wish to let you know about our friend Gouda Gabor. Open Mic is back with Gouda Gabor at her new residence at Nacho Daddy. We talked about this just a few days ago, and I'm going to tell you about this event. This is a great event to provide a training platform for young, or maybe not so young, artists to get the experience they need to audition for the So You Think You Can Rise event. This is an annual talent showcase that benefits the Rise Orphanage here in Puerto Vallarta. And I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why you should consider attending Gouda's open mic event. For starters, Gouda is very funny. And how can she not be? She's been collecting jokes since her stint with the Aztec. And that's supposed to be funny. Clearly, I'm not a comedian, but yes, she's been around. She's a seasoned artist, and she's funny, and she's talented. A second reason is that she is very generous of time and resources. And the third reason is that the event has no cover. Oh, thank you very much. I just got an important notice. From the joint co-working hotel. I'll tell you about that in a second. Anyhow, these are compelling reasons to attend. Another reason to attend is that the event has no cover and donations are for a good cause. And speaking of events that make me feel happy, I'm happy to learn that our friend Amy Armstrong is back on stage at Nacho Daddy, where a series of performances have been announced starting on December 20th. And here are 3 reasons why you should consider attending and watching Amy perform live in case you haven't seen her. Number 1, as a singer, she has what it takes and then some. I don't think Amy writes her own songs, but I could be wrong. But her soulful voice is absolutely a perfect vehicle for a great selection of pop and R&B material. So don't expect a tribute to a specific artist. Expect a great selection of songs made famous by a number of artists out there. Number 2, as a storyteller, Amy will have you laughing and crying. Her personal journey has been far from simple, and she is an open book, often serving as profound inspiration for anyone attending her shows. And number 3, as a musician, she works with other musicians, not with tracks. So you can expect a live show with live musicians. And that means you can expect her performance to be nuanced and unique and not repeated every single night exactly the same. So there you have it. Great shows to attend and great compelling reasons to attend these shows. And now let us take a quick look at our weather forecast just to see what is going on out there. Our weather forecast says, I have drowned more meat bags than any sentient weather generator has ever dreamed of. Okay, well, whatever. It is 27 degrees right now. Humidity is at 60%. And our weather forecast says that we can expect a humid day with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, a high of 30 and a low of 22. Tomorrow, a humid day with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, a high of 29 and a low of 21. And then Thursday, you can expect mostly cloudy skies in the morning, With rain in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 46%, so we could actually get some rain. A high of 29 and a low of 22. As long as we're talking about events, not to rub this on your face anymore, but today is our Day of the Dead benefit for Ruta Mushi. And as I was sharing the news just a second ago with you, I got a message from the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work telling me that there are still a few tickets available if you are considering going. You don't need to rush super quickly to the box office or to the reception to get tickets. They still have some tickets available, but just in case the event sells out, as the last one did, you may want to get there early to get your tickets. It's for a good cause. So if you don't know about this, here are some compelling reasons why you should attend. Number one, you're going to learn more about Day of the Dead than you knew, unless you know more than I did. I did some research, and it's going to put you up close and personal with our favorite tradition, and one that is becoming increasingly popular. And number two, all the money you pay, 300 pesos to access, is going to go directly to benefit Ruta Mushi, 100%. I'm not taking a cut. The hotel is not taking a cut either. And the third reason is because Gina Hendricks from Whiskey Kitchen is catering the event, or a small little reception after the presentation that'll give us the opportunity to have a nice conversation with Carla, who is in charge of the History Museum. So your 300 pesitos will go for a good cause and will also get you a little bite to eat. And then after the event is over, we can all rush over to Nacho Daddy and check out the open mic, where there is no cover to enter and all donations are going to RISE. So all good stuff to consider. And now I want to tell you a little bit about the pilgrimages and the fact that December 12th is coming. December 12th is the day Mexico chose to commemorate the Virgin of Guadalupe. I won't tell you why that came about, because we're going to save that for another broadcast. But trust me, in Mexico City, thousands and thousands of Catholics visit the Basilica on December 11 to sing the Virgin Las Mañanitas, or Happy Birthday, and they wait until midnight. And then they also visit on Tuesday. Why do they do this? Well, religious folk out there do this to show penitence, or maybe to pray for something good to happen in their lives. Here in Puerto Vallarta, it's not just one day of pilgrimages or one day of celebration. It is 12 days of celebration, and it starts this Friday on December 1st. What can you expect? Well, for starters, you can expect a lot of traffic. For better or for worse, there's a lot of traffic because there are processions going from different points of the city to the church at different times of day to honor the Virgin on her day. So traffic gets a little bit complicated. And because processions go to visit the church from all points, and they publish a schedule, but it's published on the papers and it is not always readily available. So you can expect a lot of traffic. You can also expect a lot of street food for this particular period. Hundreds of street food vendors obtain temporary permission to sell traditional Mexican street food for people that are marching or walking to see the Virgin, and also for those people that are watching everybody else go by. Which brings me to point number 3. It is a great opportunity to watch a very religious tradition unfold before your eyes. Great photo opportunity. Some people walk, some people carry candles, some people sing. There are floats, and all of this is organized to honor the Virgin between December 1st and December 12th. So, in short, if you have any business to take care of around the downtown area of Puerto Vallarta, around those dates, it is important that you keep this in mind. so that your time in downtown Puerto Vallarta does not get compromised in any way, shape, or form. And this, I think, brings us to our chit chat section. So let's me push this button, and here we go. Let's see what's on your mind. I see a lot of good mornings. I see a lot of good mornings. Hold on just a second. Let me close this. And there you go. That's all I wanted to do. Now, I want to read your good mornings, and I see lots of them. That is fantastic. Michael says, looking forward to tonight's event. Thank you very much for your support, Michael. Again, this time around, it's not to support me, but it is to support an important pursuit. How can we be a city without history? And yes, it is recorded by people at City Hall, but it's just nice to know that somebody outside of City Hall is concerned about preserving our history. Oh my God, I forgot to talk about this. Whoops. When someone ruffles your feathers, the best revenge is to ignore them. Okay, let me get rid of the music for a second and ask you. So you go to a party, and this party is taking place, let's say that you are American, and this party is taking place in the United States, and somebody from another country starts making or makes a disparaging comment about Americans at this party that is taking place in the United States, and you are American. How does that make you feel, and how do you react to that? You see, I'm not entirely certain if I'm getting old and cranky and intolerant, but I went to such event, and I heard such disparaging comment, and later on, a couple of friends after the event turned around and said to me, well, we kept looking at you and kept waiting if you were going to react. And of course, I didn't react because I was at someone's house, not my own. If somebody had made a disparaging event about Mexicans in my own home, they would not have lasted much time in my own home. But this was elsewhere. So the question is, how do you feel? Not how you react, but how do you feel when people make disparaging comments about your own kind as if you were not even in the room? Yes, that's stupid. And I'm just curious about how you feel. I don't know how I feel, but I know that when this happened, I felt like keeping my mouth shut and thought I would bring this over here. And just to be fair, I will say, as long as we're talking about offending people unintentionally, that I have a bad habit that I'm trying to curb. You see, ever since I was a child, I've been amused by Spanish, the English, how do I explain this? Spanish sounding, okay, what am I trying to say? Ever since I was a child, it amuses me to say Spanish words as though they were spoken by someone that speaks English. For example, the other day, somebody said that they lived in Palmar de Aramara. And of course, my immediate reaction would be to say Aramara. Not because I'm trying to make fun of the person speaking or trying to speak Spanish, but because it sounds funny in my ears. It sounds, my mother and I used to sing Spanish nurseries to each other with an English accent, and we would just laugh and laugh and laugh. And I never did this intending to offend anyone, but it's happened to me at least twice in the recent past that I was hanging out with foreigners or foreign friends of mine, and they happened to say a Spanish word, and I happened to even subconsciously repeat the word con un poco de acento. And, in saying something like that, I'm not intending to make fun of my friends. I am just amused by the sound of it all. But clearly, this has offended or ruffled my friends one way or another. So by sharing this, I want to convey that, I am as imperfect as anybody else at making impertinent comments or mistakes from time to time. And that's all I have to say about that. I look forward to reading your comments so we can continue going back to the chit chat section. Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Great to see you at Yarn Benders. Oh my God, that was so much fun. My friend Brian and I went to the afternoon Yarn Benders get together, which is the only one that I can attend because I'm always doing the broadcast in the mornings. And it was so much fun. There was like 8 or 10 of us sitting around a table drinking sangria and other beverages and crocheting or knitting. I had a great time, and I look forward to doing it again, at least on the ones that I can attend, the afternoon ones. And it was close to my home. It was at that pizza place right under La Comer, so it was wonderful. Let's see what else we see. So very happy to see Amy will be back at Nacho Daddy. That makes 2 of us. She's a fighting girl, and she's gone through a lot, and I am just so happy to see her doing what she enjoys the most. Let's see what else we have. Oh, I could be snarky about that, but I'm not going to. What is the weather in F? The weather in F is 81. There you go. Let's see. What else we have? Do 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 do. Gary says the pilgrimages are amazing and the food is awesome. I have to agree. Let's see what else we have. Catherine says, does it matter if the disparagement is true? It's usually sport to disparage tourists in Puerto Vallarta. Well, that's a very good question. I have not a big issue. My issue is not whether the disparagement is deserved or not deserved. My personal issue has more to do with people that have the audacity to generalize. And I know I do it. You know, I generalize about tourists, but not all tourists are horrible people. Only some. Let's see what else. I feel those people are not very intelligent and they are ignorant. They're looking for attention and they should be ignored. Thank you for that. Karen says, I feel angry but also sad. I sometimes think the person doesn't even know what they are saying. Yeah, I agree with that. Evan says, I try to figure out why I'm upset at what was said. Did I take it wrong way? If I'm still upset, I'm at someone else, and I'm at someone else's place. I either let it go, or leave my place. I'd pull the person aside and confront them. There you go. Let's see what else we have. Extremely rude to make any comment like that. I'm sorry you had to hear that comment. Amazed you were able to keep your composure. Well, again, Pat, you know, if it's not my own place, I don't dictate the rules of conversation. If something happens on this broadcast, which is my broadcast, if something happens at my living room, which is behind me, then I may act differently. Let's see what else. Catherine, yeah, generalizations are a problem. And that is why in other matters, we always try to keep our sources of information very specific so that we have information that is as accurate as possible. Harold has very diplomatic solution. I would comment that your observation doesn't apply to everyone. I don't know if you're saying that to me or you're suggesting that this is what we should say, but either way, it is valuable, and I appreciate that very much. And with that said, I wish to remind you that I appreciate you, and I appreciate the time that you spent here sharing your thoughts and your comments and your opinions with me. Today is going to be a fun afternoon because we'll be doing a good deed and then we'll be going to open mic at Nacho Daddy's. So I don't know what's on your agenda, but I hope you have a great day today. Maybe we'll cross paths this afternoon. And if we don't, maybe we will cross paths sometime in the near future at another edition of Coffee and Headlines or out and about on the street, as it frequently happens. So between now and then, have an awesome day, and I will see you again soon. Take care.